Hello everybody, Josh12 back here again with another video, and I'm here with another DC Talk video, and I'm here to talk all things Deathstroke. Now, Deathstroke is an awesome, badass character that I hold dear to my heart, and was pretty much the launching pad for me getting into DC TV. Now, for those of you who don't know, back in Arrow Season 1 and Season 2, he was the main villain slash supporting character of that series, and if it wasn't for Manu Bennett's performance as that character and the way the writers used him, I would have never have become such a huge fan of DC on TV, specifically on the CW network. I wouldn't be a fan of Arrow, I wouldn't be a fan of Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, or anything else DC tries to do on the CW network if it were not for Deathstroke and Manu Bennett's performance in that character. However, ever since the end of Season 2, pretty much Arrow and all of the CW universe have kind of just not really used Deathstroke, and I always wondered why was that. And recently we got news regarding that character, and the reasoning behind it was that DC had other projects lined up for said character to be featured in, so it was pretty much just a lot like a lot of other things the CW tries to do, just another embargo slash another wall that they can't go through. So at the end of the day, it was a sad note, but it was a sad note that we all had to take in. But overall, today we got some breaking news regarding the character from Ben Affleck, and he's confirmed that Deathstroke has joined the DCEU. Like a lot of great things that Arrow and the CW have tried to done, it's been a transition from TV to movies. And for me personally, as much as it pains me to not see the character ever be featured on the Arrowverse again, I do like the fact that DC's doing something with this character, and from the way we got to see him, he looks pretty fucking badass, let's be honest here. And Ben Affleck on his social media networks earlier today released a minute clip of test footage of the character on his Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and it's pretty much just test footage. It's just a costume and lighting and background test to see like what that character could look like on film, and it looks pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. As a not a hardcore fan of the DCU, or at least the way it's shaping out to be, I am a huge fan of that test footage. It looks really badass. It's almost like the early Deadpool footage, like back before they made the Deadpool film. It's like, holy crap, that's it? That's the way it was going to look like? That's fucking badass. And the same thing goes for Deathstroke. I mean, looking at it in the crappy quality that it is in, it still looks phenomenal, and it looks like the character brought right out of the comics. More specifically, Arkham Origins, which is, I'm pretty sure, a lot of people's favorites. So overall, I like the test footage. It's definitely not completed. It's definitely not like a final product type thing, and we don't know what capacity we could see him in the upcoming Justice League, which is where they filmed this. But overall, he looks phenomenal. The background looks phenomenal. He looks like Deathstroke the Terminator, and I can't wait to see him kick some ass. However, with that being said and done, let's move on to the character's, I guess, usage within the films, more specifically the solo Batman film. Now, after when Ben Affleck released this, he didn't really give any kind of message as to what it was, and the rap actually broke out that the reasoning behind that is because Deathstroke will be the main villain within Ben Affleck's Batman film. Now, for me personally, out of every film that's being created at this point in time in the state of the DCU, in the way it's shaping out to be, hands down, I'm more excited for Batman because more than ever, seeing as how Ben Affleck seems to be heading in the right direction with his character now that he's moving away from the Dawn of Justice craziness. So I like the direction he's going, and the fact that he has so much control that he can just release stuff like this is phenomenal, and I like the fact that he's taking his time in the process of making this. Now, when I first heard that it was going to be a solo Batman film thing, I kind of have a divisive opinion on that. As much as I love the test footage and the way Deathstroke looks, I mean, Slade Wilson, he looks fucking hype. He looks on point, and he looks like he can kick some ass for a lot of great Snyder-esque visuals, which is going to happen regardless of how we feel. However, I'm not really a huge fan of him being possibly the main villain for one main reason. He's not the most compelling, complex character for a Batman scale movie. He is for like smaller characters like Teen Titans, Green Arrow, stuff like that, but he's not like the big old boss for a top tier character like the Dark Knight. So I'm kind of feeling at odds with the choice, especially considering that I'd rather see him face off against Cyborg in like a Teen Titans movie. But seeing as how DC and Warner Brothers have yet to officially release any plans with Titans, I guess it's just something we have to deal with. And Warner Brothers and DC, for the most part, for years now, have actually been using Deathstroke to that capacity. Like when a comic book series or some form of cartoon or TV show needs a badass villain that looks cool and can kick ass, Deathstroke is used. And that's the way he's been used up until this point, which no qualms here, but at the same time, would prefer him as a Teen Titans villain, but whatever. However, with that being said and done, I do have a very positive opinion on this, considering the fact that seeing as how the Batman solo film at this point in time is heading towards like an Arkham Asylum, Dread, almost Raid-esque kind of aesthetic for it, even though El Mayembe, Humberto Gonzalez, kind of just, debunked that on his Twitter. Overall, if it heads in that somewhat, film thread, not specifically that story arc, but that specific thread of like a story point, I feel like Deathstroke could really be used to full capacity in a positive light. And also, on a side note, I personally like the idea of Deathstroke being the main villain in a Batman solo film way more than Joker. No offense, I love the Joker to death as a character and a villain. However, after seeing Suicide Squad and some time being gapped in between, I'm really kind of feel like the same way I do with Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. I really don't want to see him again. No offense to hardcore Suicide Squad fans, and especially no offense to Jared Leto as an actor and his fan base, but I have to be honest. I have to be brutally honest. I really don't want to see Jared Leto's Joker face off against Batman, nor do I kind of want to see him ever again in the movies. It's sad, but true. It's just, save him for a future movie beyond that, maybe the sequel, maybe the third film in that, I don't know. I know it's inevitable they are going to use him at some point. He's the ace in the hole. Of course, he's the big boss villain no matter what. But I'd rather just see other villains that could possibly be played better in better portrayals than Jared Leto's version of the Joker. That's my personal opinion. That's subjective. I'm sorry, but that's just my brutal, honest opinion on that. So overall, that's been my personal thoughts on Deathstroke, the test footage that Ben Affleck released, and his overall capacity and the way he's going to be used in the upcoming Justice League and Batman solo film. And for me personally, it looks freaking phenomenal. I did not expect today to really be a Deathstroke day, and I didn't even expect anything like this to come out, but it was really freaking phenomenal. I mean, Deathstroke, we got, a complete test footage tease of like, holy shit, this character is joining the universe, really awesome there. And the fact that he's going to be the main villain, I do have 50-50 opinions on it. However, I definitely prefer him way more than the Joker, no offense, but that's just my personal opinion. But overall, let me know what you personally think in the comment section below. What are your personal thoughts on the test footage? How does Deathstroke look to you? And what do you think is going to happen within the Batman solo film when the Terminator goes up against the Dark Knight? I think it's going to be a Snyder-esque vision come to life. It's just going to be badass fights, and as much as I would rather see a compelling, dramatic, film noir Batman story, there's nothing wrong with having a really cool character and another real cool character with cool costumes beat the shit out of each other with swords and gauntlets and batarangs. So overall, kudos for them, kudos for Ben Affleck, and kudos for more Terminator / the Deathstroke. But overall, let me know what your personal thoughts are in the comment section below. With that being said and done, shameless plug time. Follow me on Instagram at Josh12. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. I hope you guys enjoyed. And this has been Josh12.